Welcome to another edition of Let's Talk Winnipeg. On this episode, I'm very excited. We have a guest joining us from Black History Month. It is the program director, Nadia Thompson. Nadia, first and foremost, I have to say, because we've talked a little bit before on the telephone about one of the events that you have going on that we're going to participate in, but also had just a brief moment to chat here. You are such a lovely person to talk to. Like, you could be in the worst mood in the world, call Nadia. Like, you're just so happy and so fun to talk to. So, and on a Friday, thank you so much. It's just a pleasure to talk with you.
Well, first of all, happy Black History Month. And thank you. That is one of the nicest things anybody said. So I appreciate that very much. The sun is shining. It's Friday. Black History Month. We got a lot going on.
Yeah, it's a home run. There's three right there. It's a home run.
There you go.
Yeah, and Black History Month. Let's talk about that. What was it? I mean, obviously, it's important to you and your culture and your own history. But what is it that gets you excited about bringing it more to the forefront? Because we talked about earlier, more and more people are finally paying attention and finally listening. So what is that? What made you want to do that and really get involved in it?
You know what? It's one of those things, like, this is not new for me. I'm going on with Black History Manitoba. This will be my almost 11 years I've been doing it with the group. Back then, it was one of those, they wanted some young people to get involved, and they asked if I would do it. And I said, you know what, sure. And then we would talk to the other young people and students and just community members that wanted to make a difference or give back or volunteer, or they liked history. And that's how we started to get involved. My whole professional career has kind of marked around organization. I really enjoy creating projects, doing different events, and that's my thing. So that kind of worked wonders to do both in the same time. And the group that I work with, I can't praise them enough. The committee is so fantastic. We've been working with majority of them, at least 5 or 6 years, have been the same group of people. And they're all so dedicated and so hardworking, and they're all volunteering. So we all are on the same level because we all volunteer our time. And we start in usually September and go until April. We usually do something in the summer. So it's a lot of time and dedication that goes into planning these events. And I just enjoy it. I just love people and my community. So it's easy for me.
Yeah, I can't imagine how fun the meetings must be. I would love to be there. So you got started when you were young, and you said, yeah, sure, I'd get involved. Were you surprised by any of it? Did you have an in-depth knowledge of what Black History Month, how important it was? Did you know much about it, or was it really an eye-opening experience for you as well?
Yeah, from a young age, it was an eye-opener because we don't learn a lot about Black history when we're in school. So the fact that I have to give a little bit of respect to a praise to my family and my parents, because they engulfed us within our culture. I was born in Winnipeg. Both my parents are Jamaican, and going to school, we were one of few back then of people of color, and especially Black people. There were not that many within our school. So that wasn't really a thing. And the more the population grows within our community, the more you realize that you don't want people who are coming to your city to lose that information about their past and about their origin and where they come from. And that's with anybody in any culture, any ethnicity. You don't want to miss that. So the fact that I was able to learn from just the people that I surrounded myself with just made it so much easier to be open to it. And I'm still learning every day. I learn something every year. I learn something new. They're just, like I said, there's a fantastic group that takes this on. And just even outside of our committee itself, the people around Winnipeg and Manitoba and outside of Winnipeg and Manitoba, they are giving so much knowledge that we appreciate it and we need it.
Very, very, thank you for sharing that, because you're right. If you look back, and we had a brief conversation about that earlier, look back at what they teach you in school. I mean, you have your home ec or home class, can't remember what they called it, home economics or something.
It was home ec, yeah.
Yeah, it was at home ec. Yeah, there you go. Well, long time ago. We were all in one classroom, no. But you learn how to bake and all that kind of stuff, or you learn how to build a birdhouse, none of which I can do today. But you really didn't learn about history. And I recently took the Indigenous course at University of Alberta, which was fantastic. And you know a little bit about the history, but such a small portion is told to us. It's almost like, oh, by the way, this happened.
Yeah, we're side note.
But let's talk about what happened everywhere else in the world. And then and you're right. And that's what really, when you and I first spoke, and you told me about this T-shirt initiative and the inventions, I just thought, what? I don't know who thought of it. Brilliant. So let's no, really, seriously, anybody listening, this is probably one of the best ideas, concepts I have heard for a long time, and I say that with all sincerity. It's brilliant. Tell us more about that.
So the group itself, we've been talking about this specific subject, which is the Black inventors. And I remember probably maybe a couple years in to being a part of this committee, we had a story that was brought to our attention, and it was called If There Were No Black People. And it's a really great story. If you get a chance, Google it. And it talks about a young boy asking his mother, what would the world be like if there were no Black people? And she took him through her day with all of these different activities during the day. And that was the realization to this person invented the stoplight. This person invented the hairbrush and the comb and the ironing board. And it goes on and on and on. And you realize there's so much that we use today, we've taken advantage of not knowing where it came from. And because the Black culture, the Black people at that time, back in the 30s, 40s, 50s, and so on, were marginalized and put down to the point where it's like they're not important, but you don't realize how important they really were and are. So I will give a shout out to your fellow councilman, Marcus Chambers was the one that kind of came up with the idea of this T-shirt to bring that to the city and say, you know what, this is a great way to encourage young people, especially because they are our future, a way for them to kind of connect something that's current, wearing a T-shirt. People wear T-shirts, you get lounging around, but you're able to educate yourself at the same time. And the fact that we've had other council members think of the same way, and it's a good way for you guys also to connect with your youth who are the high school students, and everything that's going on right now with learning. There's a little bit of a disconnect, so we wanted to figure out a way that we can combine a connection, education, and fun, and that's how the T-shirt project came about.
And it does all of that. Were there any inventions that really caught you off guard, where you went, wow, I did not know?
Do you know what? I love the fact that we take the time to encourage people to look things up. I definitely tell you about the story, look up the story, but the first the creation of the blood plasma machine, and those gentlemen, the doctors that created that particular product were the same doctors that weren't able to get medical attention and end up dying because at that time Black people were not allowed to be or go to white hospitals. And stories like that make it so hard to understand what our ancestors and our trailblazers went through to get us to where we are right now. It's just, we have a lot to be grateful for, and that's what I am. And a lot of us in our community, we're grateful for where we are today. And it's just fun sometimes to learn about, the first cowboy, the first person in Manitoba, Black person in Manitoba. We've got Pilgrim Baptist Church that's here, that's going to be celebrating 97 years, and they're the first Black Baptist church in Winnipeg. So stuff like that, you can be learning and having fun and understanding your community, that makes people come together and be more understanding about each other. I always talk about kindness, and it's harder to not connect with somebody that you don't know anything about. So if you start learning about other people, it brings that connection to you, and you understand. You can't really, it's hard to hate somebody that that you've had coffee with, or you understand where they came from, their background. I just encourage people to learn about other people. And being Black, I'm very proud to be, and I'm proud to show off who we are as a people. And I think we should continue that, and everybody should continue that with whatever you come from, wherever you come from, whatever you're doing, be proud of it.
Very, very well said. Very well said, Natalie. And I think you're right. We could change so much of the world if we just sat down and had a conversation, and if we just learned from each other. And and when you talk about what ancestors had to struggle with, or the unfortunate circumstances that they had to struggle with, and how you're grateful for that, it's got to give you some pride. I mean, the strength, like truly, the strength that it must have taken, not only to, I can't think of the right term, but not only just to get by, but to thrive. To take their knowledge and to not simply sit there and say, fine, whatever. They pushed and pushed, and the inventions that you talk about, that I think that's important for every child. Doesn't matter what race, color, or creed. Like right. They need to see that in every human being, but I think it's especially important when you're looking back at your own culture. You want to feel pride. It's just so important, right? And we all associate with different things in our past that make us proud. You right. hear that a lot. And look, Canadian, we're always proud. We're the friendly nation and all. Like, that's a pride thing, and that's good. But you need to have that in all aspects. So good for you for doing this.
Mm-hmm. And you know what? I had to say the same thing to you. Good for you for putting us on a plot, giving us the platform to talk about it and being supportive. That's important as well, especially when you're in a place of power, that you are a change maker. That gives you the ability to touch a lot more people. So I appreciate you're doing this as well.
Well, thank you very much. But it's really, for me, it's a learning opportunity again. And I appreciate any opportunity to learn and help bring lessons to other people too. Not that I can teach them, but I learn more from listening. And there's never a test at the end, which is good, because I was bad with tests. But
me too.
Yeah. But I think, and that brings me back to, when you're involving now younger people, are you getting more of the community, younger people now involved? Like, I know we've had some tragedies that have got us to where we are today, and there's more attention being paid. And we had talked about the fact that, for too long, people were just silent. Just sat there and nobody ever said anything. And now finally that silence is broken.
Right.
And go ahead.
Sorry, we have a long way to go. And I don't want to dismiss what happened with Mr. Floyd. It's not, I just find that is not where we started. That's not where this conversation started. This is not where the struggle started. We've been doing this for years and years and years. And the fact that it took such a huge tragedy and social media and all of that to bring it to light is good for some people, and say, oh, well, I didn't know. But for a majority of us, we've known for a long time. So the fact that we keep struggling to get the attention that it deserves, to understand why we're not talking about it, why we're not bringing up those uncomfortable conversations, why we're not calling people out, for a lack of a better word, it's not, that's not a positive within our community, within our city, within our province. That is what we're not benefiting from, the fact that, yeah, it's happening now, but it should have happened a long time ago. And we can't go back to the past, but we should acknowledge it. Yes, we had 20,000 people come out to a protest on a beautiful summer day, but we didn't have that same 20,000 people come out when Trayvon Martin died, for example. It was a rainy, cloudy day. We had maybe 1,300, whatever the number was. And I'm not trying to call anybody out on it, but it's just it's a reality that if we're going to be there, we have to be there all the time. And we have to be in recognition of it all the time, because it's happening to us every day, all day. So we need to just work on that part. And I'm so thankful to all the media outlets and all the different government officials who have backed us over the years. We just need to do, as a community, and even within myself, we should be doing more.
Wow, very well said. And you're right. I mean, how long is this? This has been a long, long time, too long.
Yeah.
And you're right. What are your ultimate goals? What would you like to see happen in the next year? What would be success to you, or at least a good start?
Well, I'm gonna plug the fact that Black History Manitoba is now celebrating 40 years within the city and province. And, that's a great accomplishment of the longevity of what we are dedicated to keeping on the path that has been created for us. So those longtime members like Mrs. Mavis McLaren, the founder, Mr. Kojo Williams, and Dr. James, and people like that who've been paving and saying, we need this to keep going. We're proud that we're able to continue that. If I'm going to be honest, what I would love to see, and I'm hoping that we're going to be able to do this as a community, that same 20,000 people, I would love to see those 20,000 people sign a petition to get the curriculum in our schools changed to include Black history. That's, if I'm looking at, what's an ultimate goal, that would be our ultimate goal. And it's not something that we've just started working on. We have been talking about it. We've been working on it. It's not an easy process, but if it's something that we really want, then we can make it happen. But we need the support. We need the support 365 days a year. It's not just in February. We need to continue to work at what we need, and we need help. Many hands make lighter work, is what they say, right? Yeah. So we need the support of everybody. And that would be, I would challenge our city to say, if this is really what you want, do something, say something, and start getting active.
This is meaningful, is what you're saying. This would be meaningful. So have you is the petition ready yet? Are you getting close to that? Is there some way we can help with that?
We've talked about it. It has not come to fruition yet. I think, like you said, when you're kind of sparking that conversation and saying, what can we do? I think that's what we can do. And we've talked about this within a lot of town halls and a lot of collaboration. So it's still something in the works. But when we really look to it and we say, hey, what can we do? Because anytime we go anywhere, anytime we talk, anytime we have this conversation, that's what always comes up. How do we change the curriculum? How do we get education? And I know it's not just Manitoba. I've seen news clippings from BC, from Ontario. So even as a country, we should be able to make this change, and it has to start somewhere. So, like I said, we do a lot within the small group of people that we have. We would love to have others come on board and help this initiative come to fruition. So, we're always open. You can reach out to us, bhmwinnipeg@gmail.com. You can go to the website. There's a lot of different ways that you can get involved, and we can make this happen. But it's literally, I'm just talking to you and I'm putting it out there what we've been talking about. There has been no concrete plan to do it, but it's something that we've definitely talked about, and we've talked to the Minister of Education, and we've talked to the government. So it's not something that they're saying no to. It's just the process of actually getting it done.
I'll help you in any way I can. So we should talk later. I'd love to be a part of that. I think knowledge is power. Knowledge, when you know something, it makes all the difference in the world. It makes all the difference in the world. So I think that's a wonderful objective. And to think that this, Black History Month just in Manitoba started 40 years ago. And for 40 years, the message has been there, right? Like, we need to learn, we need to celebrate history.
Right.
We need to celebrate the good of the history. We need to understand it. I think it's long overdue. So yeah, I've never done the online kind of petition stuff, so I'm not very good at that. But I'm happy to
together.
Oh, good. Oh, good. So
we can learn together.
Good. But yeah, I would be behind it. I think it is a reasonable. I think it's certainly the way, because if you start with young minds, then in 20 years from now, will it? Hopefully, we never have these problems.
And there's a lot of people working for the elimination of racism and discrimination, and these young people are so brilliant. The technology that they have these days, they can do so much more than when we were younger. And there's some really, really bright stars within us. So we need to encourage and nurture that and give them something to fight for. So, yeah.
I love hearing that. That to me is so key, of getting young people engaged now and letting them, be a part of it, like, so they can see that they're involved in making a difference. I think that goes into the future so well, and creating new leaders and new community directions and stuff, because you've got a whole force of young people that are learning it now, and they're coming up and they know it's wrong, and they're going to be the ones making the change. So that's great. But from my perspective, let them do all the technical stuff. I mean, I still can't. I mean, I'm glad we got rid of VCRs, because it would still be flashing with the number, right? I mean, that's how bad I was. What do we miss? It's true, though. That's the sad part. What am I missing? What am I missing that we haven't talked about?
Well, we haven't talked about what we're doing this year. Like, we are so privileged. Like, unfortunately, with the regulations right now, a lot of our activities are going to be postponed, because it's really important to be engaged and to be in person. So we're going to cross our fingers in hopes that some of the different activities like that, we'll be able to do those in the summer. But for this month, we had a fantastic opening ceremonies on the 31st, and we did it virtual. That was our first virtual event. It went very well. We have our luncheon, which is happening on Sunday. It might be a little late to get your order in, but you can take that chance. You never know. Okay. It is a beautiful, delicious Caribbean meal that will be served by the Jamaican Association of Manitoba. So we have curbside pickup for that on Sunday the 7th. And then on the 15th, we are having our virtual history lesson. And of course, that will be Louis Riel Day. So you'll get to be home and you can sleep in and then wake up and join us on Zoom for just a great day of they've got storytelling, they've got cooking classes, they've got karaoke, they've got a walk through history. They're so creative and when they're planning these things to make sure that everybody has a touch of something. So you'll definitely find something of fun. They're talking about history and sports, their history of music, history of the Loyalists, the Caribbean connection, the Indigenous connection. We try to talk about everything, mental health. All of those things will be included on our Monday virtual history lesson, and you can get that information on our website. And then we are privileged, and we're talking about young people. We're going to be having a virtual debate and research challenge that will be happening on February 27th. And again, that'll be an interactive Zoom event. And we've got these fantastic young people that are going to be debating. The topic is colorism. And it's just, they work so hard, and we want to motivate them and encourage them. So if you come out, that part you're just going to watch, and you get to be an observer of their just excellence. And then we do the research challenge, which is something that we do interactively. We give you a person, place, or thing in history, and you get to work together with a little group and do some research. And then you're going to share with everybody what you've researched. And we love to do different lesser known Blacks in our past, either a Black event, a Black person, a Black place, just stuff like that, where what we don't learn, especially that we don't learn in school, or we don't know. We're not talking about the Martin Luther Kings and the Rosa Parks. We're talking about something totally different. So it's a really fun day. And I encourage everybody, February 27th, to be a part of that. And all of our information about all the different events for Black history this year will be on our website, bhmwinnipeg.com.
Excellent. Lots going on, really, when you said it's kind of...
And that's just us.
Yeah.
That's just us. The universities have events. We've got some events happening in Ontario. There's a theatrical production. We've got a lot of things going on. Our city is very dedicated to sharing education and information and entertainment when it comes to Black history. And we should be very proud as a city what we do.
Yes, very proud. And you had mentioned the fact that you can't do some of the events because of the COVID restrictions right now. Am I hearing that maybe later in the year, if the COVID
Definitely later in the year.
Good.
Yeah, our basketball event, we're going to move to the summer. Our community concert, we're going to try and work with some of our great organizations, the Human Rights Museum, to do that in the summertime. And then we'll have our community banquet and awards ceremony in the fall.
So it's just being moved to a different time, that's all.
Exactly.
Excellent. Now, with the t-shirts, what is happening, just so people know, because we want to be transparent about this, is that yes, it's a $500 donation from our office. So it's from the people of Charleswood, Tuxedo, and Westwood. And with that, there's a number of t-shirts that come from your organization. And that's on the back of the t-shirts is where we list all of the inventors that you've selected, correct?
Yes, that is correct.
How many t-shirts do we have?
So right now we've production-wise, we have 1,000 t-shirts that we've created. Okay. Each city councillor that is a part of the initiative will be getting those 200 t-shirts, and they'll distribute those as they see fit. We would like to have our young people get those t-shirts, and of course this initiative, the t-shirts are free to those students who are getting them. So I encourage you to talk to your city council and make sure they're part of the initiative.
I've tried calling my city councilor. He never answers, ever.
I don't live in Charleswood, but I'll make a call for you.
Thanks. So go ahead. Sorry, I cut you off. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Okay. And then so those city councilors that are part of it, they're going to find a fun, creative way to distribute those. So get involved. Suggest some way, a essay contest, coloring contest, creating bookmarks, any way that you can find that'll be fun and interactive to get people involved and get people educated, because that's what the point is the education. And we understand that students, you've been through a lot, and we want to encourage you and continue to promote the education. And our teachers are just a huge shout out to our teachers. They're fabulous. We couldn't have made it through without you guys. So, if you're a teacher and you want to contact your city council and say, are they a part of the initiative? Can I get a t-shirt? I'm sure that you'd be able to do that too. Am I putting you guys out there?
Yeah. I don't know if 200 is going to be enough right now. So.
we another donation, you'll get another 200.
Yeah, that's true.
We can keep doing this. We can keep doing this all year long. But yeah, we want to, for sure. We want to talk, shout out of course, we want to promote and encourage our Black owned businesses here in Manitoba as well. So I'm going to do another plug for Zwike, who did our printing and created our t-shirts for us. So thank you so much to that team there. And yeah, it's a great initiative. We'll start seeing them around the city, people in these fantastic shirts. And at some point, once the actual initial project is done, Zwike will have those t-shirts for sale.
Excellent. So we want to be clear on the sizes, because I believe when we spoke before, and correct me if I'm wrong, they're more sized for the high school student age. Is that correct?
That is correct. Yes. Okay.
All right. So, and that's my intention was to, and I got an idea from you, right? If there's teachers in any of the high schools throughout Charleswood, Tuxedo, or Westwood, like contact the office here, call us at the office, or send an email, and let's put some t-shirts in your hands and let's get them out there. If you're listening or watching to this podcast, and you would like one of the t-shirts, you live in our ward, it's very important. And there's a purpose behind it. Let us know what that purpose is, and let's get you on that shirt, because I think the more people wearing the shirt, the louder the message. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like the louder the message. And that would be really, really important. Now, you didn't mention it during your little advertising spiel, and you should have. These shirts are going there. It's so successful already that you're already having to order more.
We are. Yep. And honestly,
brag.
The pot. Well, I'm going to brag about a couple things. So the first brag is going to be, obviously, thank you, Winnipeg, to the city councillors that have already jumped on board. The overwhelming response is just been really great. And then I do need to shout out for sure the sponsors. So a huge thank you to TD Bank. They're one of our silver sponsors. And we have the Asper Foundation and Bayshore Constructions. So they have all taken on a sponsorship in order for us to create these t-shirts and get them to the hands of our students without the cost. So thank you to them. And yeah, we're on our second run. So like I said, we did 1,000. That 1,000 is now gone. We're on our second 1,000. So we'll keep doing this as long as we have the desire to get these shirts out. And once Mr. Klein is in his shirt, everybody's going to want one.
Mr. Klein? Kevin, maybe, but I'm going to be wearing one.
You're going to be wearing, I know you are.
Yeah, absolutely. I got to see if everyone can get everybody at council to wear one day.
That would be nice. That would be nice.
Let's see if we can make that happen. Yeah. A little challenge out there. That way we'll know.
Even better. That's on you guys. You guys do that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Stay out of this one. Stay out of it.
So I'm going to be, obviously now you've set the bar this high. Next year, you've got your work cut out for you. So
yeah, we'll definitely, we think that it's good enough. And because there's enough inventors and firsts that we can do this for a number of years. So that's not going to be the issue. We're going to keep doing it. And, it's the public that if they would like to see something or us take on some kind of initiative or some kind of programming, feel free to drop us a line and say, hey, you know what? I had a thought. My encouragement to you would be, if you're going to drop that, you're going to want to participate as well. So it's not just a drop and go. Don't drop and run. You're going to join us, and together we can get these done. So yeah.
Now it's out there.
Yep, it's out there.
Yeah, can't hide from it now. Nadia, you are a fabulous person to speak with. Your energy and your passion for Black History Month and for bringing about the change that's needed and educating people is just second to none that I've seen in a long, long, long time. Just thank you so much.
Thank you. I agree. This is like having a conversation, just hanging out. So that's a nice way to spend a Friday morning.
Yeah,
I could do this all the time.
Really? Wouldn't it be better though if it was about 15, 17 outside though, wouldn't it be?
I'm inside, so
Yeah, that's true.
it looks 15 and 17 outside.
We could have put those screen things in the background of sunshine and stuff, people biking and walking.
On a beach, we could have done anything.
Yeah. Listen, thank you again so much for this. I can't wait to see a lot of these T-shirts out there and talk more. And again, with the petition, I mean that I'm going to reach out to you again, talk about how how can I get involved, not only just as in the position that I'm in, that I'm fortunate enough to have, but just as somebody in Winnipeg. It sounds like a fabulous idea, and we should be teaching the history that's important.
Correct.
Education is.
I'll be back.
Yeah?
Your podcast isn't going anywhere, so I'm coming back.
No, I'll be here. Hopefully,
whether you invite me or not, I'll just crash.
I've discovered you might as well. It'll just be you and I here. So
yep, just gonna invite myself.
I'll hang up. Come on in. It's I have coffee. That's it. Well, no, I have Nutri-Grain bars every once in a while. So
I'll take you can keep your coffee. I will take a Nutri-Grain bar though.
There you go. All right.
Only if it's strawberry. Is it strawberry?
Yeah, it is.
There you go. There you go. See?
That's my favorite. Oh, perfect.
I'm simple. I'm easy. That's how you get me.
Everyone's like, well, you should buy the big boxes from Costco. And I'm like, yeah, but it's all kinds of different flavors. I just want strawberry. So I buy the big box, and I'm like, I don't need it. I don't need like 3/4 of them. I don't eat. And we will talk further. Nadia, thank you so much. Congratulations on your work with Black History Month. Please pass on my gratitude and appreciation to everyone involved, all the volunteers, and let's keep this conversation going. Let's have more conversations.
We will, and thank you again. And just so you're aware, I know that you might not have noticed it, but our name did change. We are Black History Manitoba Celebration Committee now, which is, just so you're aware, is that we are no longer confined to a month. We should be celebrating, we should be acknowledging Black history all through the year. And if you ever want anything or need anything in regards to our programming, coming out to your school, coming out to your workplace, you do not have to just do this in February. We are available all the time. So I encourage people to continue outside of February, educate yourself, promote yourself, and learn from each other. And check out Black History Manitoba, Winnipeg. Yeah.
Not month. So I didn't know that. I should have known.
How would you know that? No, why would you know? It's new. And I'm just saying, I want to share this information with you. Yes, this is the first year that we've changed our name.
I would like to invite you, and on the record, I have a town hall every month with residents. And we'll find a month that you're available, maybe in April or something. And I would love for you to put on an hour-long discussion with our residents who attend the town hall. They've been virtual, but very well attended and fun, and to give us all a history lesson.
If they're anything like you, you can pen me in.
They're way better than me. Way more fun.
Well, then I don't know how much work will get done, but we're for sure. I'm in.
Good. Well, we'll see you. We're going to make that happen. And again, Nadia, thank you so much. Black History Manitoba, make sure you participate in the events that are online. Again, if you're a teacher within Charleswood, Tuxedo, Westwood, especially with the high school students, reach out to this office if you want T-shirts and you have a good way to award them to your students, whether it's an essay or a research project. And that's what we want these shirts to be used for, to not just as a gift to hand out. It means much more than that. It's not just a token or a prize. It needs to have some value to it. And again, if you're a member of our community and you feel that there's a good purpose, or you can do something to help us to help continue on the conversation and help continue teaching others how important this message is, then reach out. We would love to have you as one of the ambassadors wearing these shirts and making sure that we're all learning more and more every day. So Nadia, You're the best. Thank you so much.
You.
I can't wait to talk to you again. I know it will be soon. And if there's, again, anything else that I could do, can do, or anything, please call me anytime.
I will. Thank you so much. Have a fantastic day. And again, happy Black History Month, everyone.
But it's Black History Manitoba for you. It's a whole year. It's the whole year.
My life.